What's going on, guys? It's Coach Noop back in the building with another one. As usual, it's going to be jam packed full of jewels. And your time is always appreciated because you can be doing anything but you hear me checking out these reviews, man. So, this one is about an inmate who escapes the courthouse unnoticed after sentencing. And we're going to look at it. I'm going to run it and then we're going to run it back and I'm going to give my take on it, man. So, let's get to it.
With the arraignment now over, he's being taken back to jail. Or is he? The defendant has slipped away from security and re-entered the courtroom. He strips off his prison-issue shirt and uses it to hide his handcuffs. He makes it to the hallway, and after a quick look around, he takes off. Along the way, he ditches the distinctive orange prison-issue shoes and continues barefoot through the courthouse. Quickly makes his way to the lobby until he exits straight through the front doors and out onto the street. With the arraignment.
All right, so mental health, physical health, spiritual health, decision making, man. And you already know, man. It's it was he was smart enough to be able to do all of that. It wiggle his way out of the courthouse and out of going back to jail for, momentarily until it catches up with him. And it does take some kind of, smarts to be able to do something like that. And now with that being said, why not just make the decision to not put yourself in that situation to where you have to finagle your way out of the courtroom, bro, so you don't have to go to jail. That's what being mentally sound is all about, for real though. Keeping yourself out of situations like this and making sure that you set yourself up for success and not for failure. So, man, let's run it back though.
With the arraignment now over, he's being taken back to jail. Or is he?
And look how smooth he was though. As soon as the dude would look, he walked right past him, and he didn't even notice that he was missing. And now this ain't about the bailiffs, the sheriffs, and the judges and all that. Nobody being in the courtroom or around because they did their job already. And we're not talking about the system and all of that. We're talking about mental health right here on this particular one. So he was smart enough to do all this stuff again, like wiggle past the sheriff. As soon as he turned this back, he was gone, bro.
The defendant has slipped away from security
And he knew wasn't nobody else in the courtroom. He like everybody left fast, bro. Usually it might be one or two people left in there doing some little extra paperwork or something. But, in this particular one, it just happened. And luck was on his side.
He entered the courtroom. He strips off his prison-issue shirt and uses it to hide his handcuffs.
Got all that wherewithal, man. All that common sense, bro. And he chose not to use it before this situation occurred. And, to put all that energy and all that time into doing something positive before the situation happened, or just thinking about when the situation was happening, was it really worth it to have to go through all this? Because when something happens, bro, like a situation, stuff runs through your mind. You do some critical thinking, and then you either do one of a few things, flight or fight. You know what I'm saying? And he chose to ultimately do something that landed him in jail. So he put himself in that situation. Like I always say, you put yourself in all the situations that you end up in, man. And you have to be accountable for what you're doing and make better decisions for yourself ultimately so that, you know, you stay out of trouble for real. And the people that depend on you, they can count on you to be there and they can look up to you and you're a good example to them and you help show them, the right way to do things. So they don't end up going down this type of path because, a lot of, people look up to you guys and, everybody, like you're a role model and, a mentor or something like that to, your nieces, nephews, your kids, what have you, and you just have to show them how to, you know, do stuff the proper way, and you have to show them like how to think for the future, man, and not live in the moment. Partying and stuff is cool and all that, yeah, but is partying too much a good thing? No, it's not. And it's easy to get caught up in that, and sometimes it's no coming back, bro. Once you go down that rabbit hole, man, some people don't have the mental capacity to know when enough is enough, man. Like,
He makes it to the hallway, and after a quick look around, he takes off.
and these people ain't even paying attention. It's two, three, like four people just chilling, man. It must have been the end of the day. Everybody was getting off work.
Along the way, he ditches the distinctive
The
orange
lawyer.
prison issue shoes and continues barefoot through the courthouse.
Running, this dude still ain't paying attention, man. He don't even care. He's just like, hey, dude must be trying to catch his Uber or something.
Quickly makes his way to the lobby until he exits straight through the front doors and out onto the street.
And then there you have it, man. All that ingenuity, he was being clever and all that, man. So again, if he would have just used it from Jump Street, man, to keep himself out of that situation, he wouldn't even have had to do any of those things, man. So, just use it as an example to, is that what you really want to have to do? You know what I'm saying? With your brain power, bro, at the end of the day. And then it's not like they're not going to put a warrant out for his arrest because he was already sentenced and he already, knew how much time or whatever he was going to have. And it really, what I'm saying, worth it at the end of the day? It's probably not, man. To even get yourself in even more trouble than when you started, bro. Because it was already basically over then. Just do your time and then you get out, bro. But it just adding stuff onto your sentence, it doesn't really make any sense, man. I mean, he was in there for a murder or something. He got a life sentence. I don't think so because they wouldn't have put you, what I'm saying, in there like that. It would have been more security and supervision, bro, if it was something like that serious. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't even really worth it at the end of the day, man. But anyways, man, this Coach Noob. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're digging this kind of content. And your time is always appreciated because you could be doing anything but you hear me checking out these reviews. Until next time, I'm out.